Thank you for joining our discussion, Trent.
My pleasure.
One of your creative emergency management program was the development of the Downtown Stakeholder Emergency Response Group in Boston. Can you tell us about the members and their activities?
Absolutely. And I owe a debt of gratitude to you and to your class at MTI because I would not even have been aware of the issues that I uncovered during this process. So I started my position at in Boston, Northeast Corridor, on December 1st of 2011. And after a couple of months of being in, getting acclimated to my new area, new location, and my staff, uh, I started to do a risk assessment of South Station, and it took me about a week to go through in all the areas that we would have vulnerability to the station, and I was shocked to see how vulnerable the station was. And so I went to Steve Pugsley, which was our safety and emergency management executive local there in Boston. And I discussed it with Steve Pugsley, and he was also retired state police. So he had a lot of connections law enforcement wise and had a lot of knowledge of what I was presenting in terms of the risk assessments at South Station. So he was excited, and we got together and we discussed a process. He immediately incorporated Captain Lou Best from the Metropolitan Bay Transportation Authority Police Department. Lou Best was the head of the department and also had a tremendous number of connections, law enforcement, as you can imagine. So the three of us sat down and we devised a plan to incorporate the local businesses immediately surrounding South Station. And we notified the stakeholders at the Federal Reserve that was right across the street from South Station, Fidelity Financial, which is right next door, as well as the the main U.S. Postal Service that's right next door, and the Interstate Bus Terminal, which is part of the South Station property. And we incorporated the commuter rail, head of commuter rail to represent commuter rail and the trolley system that runs underneath the South Station location. And we sat down and we talked about necessity for us to cooperate and work together to mitigate any kind of security issues. And it was very well received, and it expanded very quickly. One of the shining successes is that a lot of these companies, including South Station, the Federal Reserve, the Fidelity, and the U.S. Postal Service, they all have external security cameras. So we made an agreement that we would share our security camera footage of any suspicious activity or any activity that went on that was illegal in nature, and we'd share those camera footages with any other of the stakeholders to help apprehend any perpetrators or to mitigate the crime that had taken place. Well, during my time before I retired at the end of 2017, we went from just a handful of stakeholders to almost 100 stakeholders in the downtown Boston area, and it was quite successful. And in the sense that we met once a month, and we had reports from criminal activity and apprehensions, starting with the FBI in the local area, and they would come in and give us a report. The state police had a representative that came in and gave us a report. And we had the Amtrak police as well as the MBTA police, commuter police, give us reports of what was going on with commuter service and commuter rails, and also interstate rail service to passenger with Amtrak. So it was very informative and enlightening and effective in that regard. And And incidentally, in 2016, well, I should say that part of my process was to inform my staff and educate my staff of 6 managers and 2 admins to be on the lookout and be aware of any kind of suspicious activity in and around the station. And in 2016, one of my admins went down for a smoke down on the street level and of the South Station. And she came back up and she had mentioned that there was a suspicious character that came up from the subway system carrying a backpack and had a high-powered camera, and he was taking photographs of the Federal Reserve. So my window in my office looked directly across the Federal Reserve, and I opened the blinds and I said, "Well, show me where he was taking pictures." And the side that he was taking pictures on had no windows of the Federal Reserve; it just had security cameras. So I said, "Let's go, and we'll go talk to Captain Davis at the Federal Reserve." And got a hold of Captain Davis. He met us downstairs. We explained the situation to him. He took us upstairs to what he called the inner sanctum. He turned on the monitor, and we located the individual that was taking pictures that had come out of the subway. And Captain Davis tracked through a series of cameras, tracked this individual down the street where he got into a waiting car and drove off. And I immediately sent the photos and the car ID to the FBI and wanted to, with the instructions that he wanted this person apprehended and interrogated for their activity that we had reported. Well, interestingly enough, 2 days later, I get a call from Captain Davis. He says, "I'm sending over a coupon for dinner for 2 at Roost Chris Steakhouse for your administrator, that she, for her efforts in reporting this suspicious individual." I go, "She's getting 2 free dinners? You got to be kidding me. What's going on?" And he says, she exposed a Russian spy ring. And the FBI was able to capture several members of this Russian spy ring. And I thought that was fantastic. So, that was a shining moment in terms of the great success that we had with the creating the security and safety departments, cooperation between the stakeholders and the downtown Boston area.
Thank you for sharing your experiences of the Amtrak Northeast Corridor with us, and it's very humbling, the feedback that you've just provided on the class and the net results. Thank you.
My pleasure.